Tonight on Moments Girls Talk, we ask why some men find successful women intimidating. We have got DJ Neptune.
Most guys feel insecure and they feel intimidated because one, they feel like, oh, if I tell her to sit down, she won't want to sit down because, I mean, she's literally the breadwinner of the house.
And Antoinette Lecky, popularly known as Anto.
You like me, I like you, let's go. But someone may automatically think because I have a certain kind of background that he shouldn't approach me, and I don't think that's necessary.
You know, in our African cultural sense, you need to kind of pretend and downplay yourself just to get something.
I don't think you have to pretend. I don't think you have to pretend because, I mean, if a man is going to come your way, he will come your way regardless, you know.
You do not want to miss this.
Being single and successful used to be a surefire way to increase attractiveness, unless of course you're a woman. Well, it's interesting to note that most men are happy to be with a woman who's exceptionally beautiful, even if her beauty overshadows his attractiveness. In fact, many men actually prefer that. But when it comes to a woman whose successes outpace those of the men around her, her prospects seem to shrivel and shrink. Well, today on Moments Girls Talk, we talk all about why men find successful women unattractive. Allegedly. Hello, girls.
Allegedly, right?
How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Oh, looking popping as always.
Thank you. As are you.
Well, you know, wake up. Like
Absolutely love this hair. That's you.
Thank you. Let's talk about this because I believe we're all successful women in our own right. Are you finding that the higher you climb up the ladder, the more the men are scurrying away?
I'm gonna let you take that one first. We don't want to admit it, but you know, I think that the honest truth is, so I've heard rumors have it that I'm intimidating.
You?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, because you know me, right?
Okay.
So you know that I'm like super chilled, and but it's like, you know, my sister's friends at work. That's where my sister gets like the gist of the perceptions that people have about me. And she was like, yeah, that, you know, a lot of the guys are like, man, I don't know how people come up and say hi, which I think is just generally women who work in the limelight,
in the media,
or also who have confidence. And I would say I'm a confident woman. You know, I know who I am. I know what I want to do with my life, and I know where I'm going. And I believe that some men might feel like they cannot approach sometimes, even though you might come across as approachable. There's always this pressure that they put on themselves, which I think is it, where they'll feel like, oh, well, what if she just shuns me off? Because I think men are actually quite shy when it comes down to it.
I think so too. I think also, you know, in terms of, you know, as you said, women who work in media, I can only speak for myself. There's also this kind of perception that maybe you expect the guy to drive a Ferrari and buy you, I don't know, a mansion on your first date or something. And if he's not, because I've had people say, this guy likes you, but he feels like he's not on your level. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I'm just a regular person, and I'm quite normal, I feel, in terms of the kind of person I want to relate with. I'm not extravagant, but there is a perception that if you're a successful woman, you know, you're high maintenance. And I think that's part of what we struggle with.
Okay, well, we're gonna get into it. It could be a fear of rejection. It could be a fear of high expectations that successful women may have. We don't know. We're gonna get into it, but you know, we don't do this alone. We're gonna get into it with some wonderful guests who are gonna contribute their voices to this wonderful round table. But until then, we're gonna take these messages. We'll be right back with Moments Girls Talk.
Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. Our guest today is Antoinette Lecky. She's an ex-Big Brother Niger reality show housemate, a brand influencer, and also a sports presenter enthusiast. Anto, welcome to Moments.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, you were on TV for numerous days, and the whole world, or the whole of Africa, was watching you day in, day out. I mean, do you miss being in the house?
A little bit. I didn't think I would miss it, but I kind of missed that privacy, just us. It was just the 20 of us. We didn't know what was happening in the real world. We didn't have to deal with traffic. We didn't have Instagram to be, you know, checking up. So I kind of missed that solitude. But I am glad to be out.
And you didn't have to pay bills.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. And who in the house do you feel you connected with the most? Because there were so many different alliances and
so
groups
many strategic partnerships. But obviously, if you watch the show, most people know I connected with Lulu. But besides that, myself and Chloe and myself and Princess are very close.
I want to get a little bit into Anto, the person.
Yes,
I mean, because there's so much more to you than Big Brother. I know you have a very strong sporting background.
Yes.
Besides working for CBL, you did some great work in the US with basketball.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. The world must know.
Sure, yes. My sports background is pretty long. First, I have my first degree is from the University of North Carolina. That's where Michael Jordan went to. So actually, my degree is exercise and sports science. So since the beginning, I knew that sports was what I wanted to do. Then I went to get my MBA and a master's in sport business management. So sports is definitely something I truly believe in, and business and marketing in general. So I've worked for many universities. I've worked for the Orlando Magic. I worked for the National Basketball Retired Association. So plenty of things in the sports field. So my main reason for wanting to come to Nigeria was to use what was great in the US and bring that kind of template to Nigeria. I believe Nigeria has an immense amount of talent, just the world hasn't seen it yet.
No, fantastic. And now you're out of the house,
Yes.
you know, and everyone knows your name. We
Yes.
all know you. How does that feel, going places and knowing that you're no longer like anonymous?
Yeah,
People
it's
know
pretty-
you and they want to take pictures and they want to talk to you.
It's super weird, especially when you just want to go pick up toilet paper. You know, you can't do that regularly anymore. You know, somebody will automatically run up to you with your phone, so you have to just be ready to smile. So it's an amazing experience.
Do you think it was a good decision to go into that?
Yes, absolutely. In the house, I kind of thought, I was like, did I make the right decision? I'm going crazy in here.
Okay.
But now that I'm out, I definitely realized that the platform was the right platform.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that feels like.
What projects are you working on right now?
So many things. Obviously, like I said, sports is a passion for me, so I definitely want to work on building different types of sports. We know that football is king. Definitely focusing on football, but there's so many things like basketball, like volleyball, like swimming. There's so many sports that people may have a niche for, they just might not know just yet. And then besides that, I'm from Edo State, and if most people don't know, Edo State right now is kind of the hub for human trafficking, the hub for where the young ladies that are going to Libya, that's where they kind of start. So my plan is definitely to, as us as women, we're the ones that have to speak for ourselves. So definitely to try and work on how to keep our women at home. Let's bring all of our girls back.
Our girls got a good head on her
Come on,
shoulders.
sister. You better. Snaps to you. Snaps to you. I love it when I talk to a woman who's beautiful and intelligent. It just makes me feel empowered. Well, today on the show, we're talking about men and why they might not find us who are successful attractive. We don't have a guy here, so we're asking our viewers at home to get very much involved in this conversation. We want to hear from you guys at home. Do you guys find women who are very successful, you know, less attractive? The conversation is going to begin, and that's coming up shortly.
Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. We've been talking to our guest, Anto, about what she's been up to since leaving the Big Brother house. And now we move on to our very heated topic of the day, which is why men find successful women unattractive. Now, I will say in my experience, it has been a bit of an issue. I wouldn't say they find us unattractive as much as intimidating and high maintenance. You know what I mean? In my experience, men think, that's Tallulah, the way we are seeing her. I don't even know how to even, like, maybe how to approach her or the kind of person she is, and I feel she's going to be very... And materialism is one thing I've noticed. I'm not a materialistic person, but I think the impression a lot of men have of successful women is that because you're earning good money and doing well for yourself, you know, you expect them to provide for you financially quite a lot.
Or is it possible that there's a situation where it's more of that they want a woman who's more traditional?
That's what I
In
think.
that they feel like if you're successful and you're working, you can't, you know, take care of them the way they need to be taken care of. Is that possible?
You know what? I think every man wants a traditional woman, but I believe there are those who can decipher between one who's traditional at home and does what she needs to do when it's time to grind and hustle, and one who's, you know, just I hate the word subservient because I feel like it's abused, but subservient throughout. Right now, I'm gonna give two scenarios.
Okay.
I dated a guy who was, shall I say, less traveled than I. Certainly earned a lot less than myself. You know, lived in a worst part of town. All of that. Right. And I told myself that, oh, it doesn't matter, it's okay, I could do this, I could do this. And he also was like, you know, before we started dating, he was like, you know, you make more money than me, your life is different, you live on the island, you know what I mean? Oh, we could do this. But ultimately, it just did not work out. Not necessarily because he found me unattractive, but because the equation was not balancing. I couldn't help but emasculate him. Sometimes men also cut their coats according to their size. They know that this one, you know what, she's going to expect certain things. She maybe wants to go out for dinners and for drinks and you know, the pocket doesn't add up. So let me save myself the drama. Let me wait for a girl who, even if I bring out 1,000 naira, she's gonna be like, ooh, daddy, ooh, but daddy.
I'm gonna get back to that very soon about that 1,000 naira, and you know, whether it's girls who have done well for themselves or it's everyone who now has high expectations, thanks to David O. We'll get to that later, but Anta, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it's more the part of it being intimidating. I think it's actually an excuse. I think what it really is a cultural difference. The man is supposed to be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So if my babe is making more money than me, that's an issue. If I'm hanging out with my guys, don't you have to go run home to your wife? Do you get those kind of conversations? I think it's more of they don't want to be played or talked.
So they feel emasculated almost by your success.
Yes, it's not even that they feel like the woman is, they can't match up to her. They don't want people to think that he can't match up to her.
Can you fully respect him?
I think so.
She looks down.
I gotta think about it. I think it really depends on if he is fine with me being more successful than he is. I mean, I've definitely dated guys that, you know, I have degrees, I've been traveled, so to an extent somebody may say that I'm more successful than him, but I don't really think that matters in any kind of way. Especially me, I don't even need nice things. You like me, I like you, let's go. But someone may automatically think because I have a certain kind of background that he shouldn't approach me, and I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, but I also think, I mean, coming back to kind of what you said about, you know, not being materialistic and everything, I think it also comes down to the ego of the man. I think some men look at successful women and think, you know, maybe I remember, I dated this one guy this one time, and I remember it was, I don't want to give too much context, but I just got a pretty big job. And we'd been dating, okay, you know, happy and everything. But when I got this really big job, all of a sudden he was acting differently. If I like maybe forgot to call him or something, he'd be like, it's because you are feeling big now that you have got this big job. You think you have escalated, you know? So there was always like, there was insecurity around the success. It wasn't necessarily anything I was doing. It was just his mindset towards me had changed. I think that happens a lot.
You know what? That's the best point ever, because I actually feel like it's one thing for a man to meet you as you are now and just be like, okay, well, this is Bolanle and this is what she likes and it's cool. But for him to meet you like when you're in university and then he now starts seeing this and then he feels like one day maybe you're gonna outgrow him. I feel like that might be the issue. But
you know, for me, I don't know if I can ever feel comfortable with someone saying, yes, Bolanle, you're successful and I expect you to bring a full equal portion to the home. I don't know if I'm there yet.
But isn't that a double standard?
I know.
Bolanle?
But I'm also comfortable making sure that you have food in your mouth. And I'm the one who's gonna bring forth the child.
It comes down to children.
It does. Do you understand?
You do all the work. So
when it comes down to it, like, especially when they're like, oh, we'll raise a child together. I'm like, it's a natural maternal instinct. Like, I know girls who are very exposed, are dating guys who are exposed. They're still afraid of leaving their children at home with their husbands. And the guy is more than willing to. So what are we saying here? Is it ever equal? Can it ever be completely equal?
You know when I like that balance, right? I like that balance when a man is successful and accomplished and exposed, right? And then he sees that you're the same and he loves that. And for him, he loves the chase and the challenge of being with this woman who's done so much. And then he loves the honor of saying that,
this is my woman.
That's my girl. Because I mean, I have that kind of partner who's just like, have you seen, like, you know, I bought a new car. He was the first to take a picture of my car, send it to his group chat with his baby. Say what my baby has done. So there are men like that who generally just gonna celebrate you and want you to be more and more. He calls me with business ideas. This is what you can do. This is how, you know what I mean? So I think it's really unfair to say men find successful women unattractive.
I mean, I agree with you, but I think your scenario is quite rare. Because I think from what I've seen in successful partnerships, it's always opposites: alpha male, beta female, and alpha female, beta male. That's what I've noticed. But going to talk a bit more about this after this quick pause. When we return, we speak more with everybody, our guests, about why some men find successful women unattractive.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Moments Girls Talk, and the conversation today is all about why, or allegedly, why men find successful women unattractive. Now, thank goodness we now have a gentleman in the building. It goes by the name DJ Neptune. He's a Nigerian DJ. Welcome to the party.
Nice to have me.
Welcome. Nice to have a man on the
Like,
panel.
I feel roasted already.
No, it's not even like that, but you are going into the deep end.
No, that's fine. Cool. Shoot.
Ladies, shall we show him?
So our question is, and we just want a response.
Alright.
Do men find women who are more successful, whose careers are going well, who are doing financially well, who might be, just leading the pack? Do men find them a bit more unattractive, or are they intimidated by them, possibly?
I would say not all men first, and maybe I would use the word they are intimidated. Because a typical African man wants to be bossy. Obviously you're the head of the house. I mean, now they say what a man can do, a woman can do better. Accepted. But when it comes to that, most guys feel insecure and they feel intimidated because they feel like, oh, if I tell her to sit down, she won't want to sit down because she's literally the breadwinner of the house. But for me, I feel at the end of the day, it's all about understanding, love. If she's successful and she's wealthy and she brings the money, as a guy, you should be able to support one way or the other.
You said something I love. Sorry to interrupt you, but I want to pick on this point. You said if you tell her to sit down, you want her to sit down.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's more about control. Men maybe typically or traditionally want a woman that they can control.
Yeah.
And successful women seem to be doing their own thing, and so it's harder to pin her down or control her or tell her what to do. Is that part of it?
Yeah, that's part of it. But I've seen situations whereby there are some women that, I understand that I have all the money, I'm big, but then this is my man. Whatever he tells me, I need to pay respect. While some don't see it that way, and most times I feel it's just little side talks from friends like,
Yes.
why would you?
Have you dated somebody? No, not more successful than you. Okay. Somebody who's considered to be successful.
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Why not?
It's just the situation I find myself in.
Are you sure you're not running from
He's
that?
married. He's not married.
Yeah, I'm married now.
married. Look at him.
So, but
Back in the day.
Back in the days, I wasn't caught up in such situations. So I won't say I was lucky, but it is what it is. Even if I was in that kind of situation, I would love my girl and then support her and not bring her down.
Yes. Yeah. And if your wife were to blow today, you'd be fine. It wouldn't cause anything.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right. The Bible says, "For richer, for poor," right?
Yeah.
We'll be together. To be honest, if your wife is doing well and you're doing well and everybody's putting food on the table, that makes it easy for you guys. But if that's not the situation, you're the man of the house. Go out there, get the bread, bring it home, make sure your family is okay. It's not necessary that your wife must be out there making money. But ladies they want to make their own money, so which is good, so.
I had a situation when I was dating that guy I spoke about earlier, where I actually went to somebody for advice, and I said, I don't know how to handle this because there's certain restaurants I even want to go to, but I'm just scared for the guy, Shay. You probably maybe can't pick up the bill. What do we do? And this lady said to me, it's very simple now. When he comes to get you, or before you guys leave the house or whatever, you just give him the money so that when you get there, he pays and he looks like. The way you're answering, have you done that before?
Someone else has told me the same thing. Yeah.
How would you do it?
It's weird.
Would you do it?
Really weird. I don't think I would do it. I think I would just want to pay for it myself, but then he may feel uncomfortable. So, but I don't think I would date anyone who would feel uncomfortable with me paying.
But I think in Nigeria, when you go to a restaurant for the guy, they go to the guy, a guy, here's the check. They automatically assume the guy is going to pay.
This is really random, but I was at a restaurant the other day and I was with a bunch of friends. So one of the guys asked another guy to get him ice cream. And he was like, my guy, help me get ice cream. So the guy was standing up, he was buying ice cream. So the waiter, she brought the ice cream and she dropped it in front of another person we were hanging out with, and she was a girl. And then the guy I was with now said, why do you assume the ice cream is more? Because there was a guy buying ice cream. I said, give my ice cream, though. And the waiter was like, oh my God. And I was like, this is so funny. Like, there's no way in his mind he could assume a guy would be buying something like that for another guy. Because we have such strong cultural expectations that, you know, if I'm driving, I can be driving my own car and my cousin is sitting next to me, and they'll go and meet my cousin and say, Oga, anything falls. And my cousin is like, is she not the one driving? You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think culturally there's just so many like assumptions and stereotypes, and even like, you know, going back to advice that we've been given so we can marry, you know? I remember I was out
be respectful, be timid,
all those things. And then I was out with some guy friends one day, and they were like, you, of course you are, no, you're not married. That even look at you, I'm afraid. That what they were saying, what you should do is, if I'm like, a guy's interested in me or whatever, I should say, oh, let's go to the local amala joint. So he can be like, this is a down-to-earth girl. She's not too expensive. She won't drain me. So I'm like, I like amala, everybody, but I don't think I would go on a date. They're like, no, that's what you need to do. So it's almost this element of pretend. That if you're successful and you have certain standards, you kind of have to, if you want to trap a man in the, you know, in our African cultural sense, you need to kind of pretend and downplay yourself just to get somebody.
I don't think you have to pretend. I don't think you have to pretend, because I mean, if a man is going to come your way, he will come your way regardless. You know, you don't have to come down to his level because you want to win him or you want him to be your man. I don't think you have to go that far.
Well, I don't think it's coming down to his level. I think it's not appearing materialistic. I think a lot of it's getting really, really bad, guys. Okay, we'll go back to the whole, you know, Davido buying his girlfriend a car. The feedback that I saw online, I was like, wait, so people think that it's normal to expect another person to buy you a 20 million naira car. And I was like, I mean, that's Davido. He's a superstar. He's a rock star. That's what he does. And to put that kind of pressure on normal, average day, everyday people, it just wasn't. And people were like, oh, if your boyfriend has only bought you phone, you should feel stupid. I was like, okay.
I'm sure
things are a bit dicey.
I'm sure that move broke a lot of homes.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Anyone named Chioma is so sad now.
Okay, so what if Chioma was buying Davido the car?
That's fresh.
The world is huge. Chioma is trying to be Mrs. Davido.
Why though?
I don't know.
Because it's still that successful woman. Why do we always find something negative when it's a successful woman? Do you get what I mean?
They probably would have said, oh, it's actually Davido's money that she used to actually buy the car for
Davido. She can never win.
I mean, I think it's just that African mentality, you know, and I mean, I think it's high time we move away from that, because like the world is way more advanced than, you know.
You know, when we were off air, you were talking about how when you were in Big Brother, a lot of the other housemates were younger than you. Did you ever feel like, and you're, like you said, accomplished, well-traveled and so forth. Did you ever feel like you had to dumb yourself down? You did. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, I think most people noticed that when I watched when they watched the show, that I didn't talk as much about myself for multiple reasons. One, because I didn't to the world, not even just people in the house. I didn't want to seem like I was showboating. Like I was, this Yankee baby.
You didn't think that people would vote for a successful person?
Yeah, honestly. And I...
Really? Successful woman. Yeah. Miracle's a successful pilot.
Yeah, I definitely did think that I would come off as, oh, she thinks she's better than everyone. I definitely did think that. So, I mean, I did talk about myself, but I could have read the full list of my CV. But I didn't want that to be this story. Oh, this one is this super successful woman. She thinks she deserves...
Everything.
Everything,
On that note, while we're sharing personal stories, we have a part of the show called Celebrity Secrets, where we expect y'all to share a secret with us. This has to be something that nobody knows. So, DJ Neptune, what is your celebrity secret?
Oh, okay. It will have to do with food. I love ogbono soup.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that.
This one's a secret.
It's not a secret.
I'll just keep it that way.
Really?
I'll just keep it that way.
He doesn't want to reveal too much. Yawn.
You know?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Answer.
Celebrity secret. I think people kind of know it, but not to the extent that I actually really love strippers.
What?
Strippers.
Like how? Like strippers?
Like all strippers.
On that,
yeah, like I actually love the arts of strip pole dance. It's an art. I actually love the arts of pole dancing.
Do you like the art of pole dancing, or do you like
all of it? Even the ratchet ones. Yes.
So you go to strip clubs?
Yeah.
And you like it?
Yes. All.
Do you go to strip clubs in Lagos?
Yeah.
Girl.
Hey, that's a real thing.
That's a good one.
I'm expecting that.
Thank you. Thank you for bearing it on. We appreciate that. But unfortunately, we only have so much time in the day. Until DJ Neptune, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having
us. This was a very valuable conversation, I feel. It was constructive, actually, in its own way. But don't you go away, because we have a little bit more coming up. Of course, we have to round it all up in a nutshell. Don't move.
Welcome back to Moments Girls Talk. In a nutshell, I need the men out there to be confident and to give us women who are successful and confident some slack. That's what I feel. I'm done with like having to downplay any part of myself. As long as you're gracious and you're kind and you're not, you know, arrogant. In fact, some people are arrogant. That's who they are. Yeah. It's just important that we shouldn't have to fit. Like, I shouldn't have to pretend to be someone else that I'm not because I'm trying to attract a man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree with you. I feel like just because a woman is successful doesn't mean she's not humble, doesn't mean she's not kind, doesn't mean she can't cook, doesn't mean she's not going to be a great mother. I think people look at successful women.
What if I say a question? Why does she have to know how to cook? I'm just saying.
Yeah, well.
Girl, take it there.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's
She can
true.
hire a chef.
She can hire a chef, but doesn't mean she might enjoy cooking in her spare time. There's so many stereotypes associated with successful women, and I wish those were eradicated because it's like get to know the person, see beyond the success.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I think, you know, firstly, I love the quote that you're not intimidating, he's intimidated. And I think that has to do with how we interact with people. So I think it's about the men that you know, when you're successful, the men you choose to interact with, and you just have to stay clear of them and be open-minded to the fact that there are actually men out there who aren't intimidated by a hardworking, successful woman with accolades, blah, 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 etc, etc, you name it. Just finding the balance, also being comfortable in our own skin and not dumbing ourselves down because the problem I find often is that we as women dumb ourselves down, and then later on we pop up as strong women and they're like, oh,
who is this person?
So that's my thought.
That's a great point, Mumbai. Thank you guys so much for joining us again on Moments Girls Talk. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation. It was a very, very insightful one. Make sure that you join us same time next week, and always remember,
if you can think it, you can do it.